Thank you, Mr. President. It's truly an honor to stand in this great hall and speak with you today on the traditional lands of the Lenape people. Thank you. True hope is built upon honesty and action, and it's quite straightforward what I have to say today. We are not willing to die. We are not willing to die because corporations and governments tell us that they are doing everything that they can to address the climate crisis, yet emissions continue to rise, as other speakers have said. We are not willing to die because of the insistence upon endless economic growth and extractive industries that particularly harm women and Indigenous, Black, Brown, island nations, and Global South peoples. No, it's not okay to tell us that we are being unreasonable with our demands for climate justice because we don't understand what is possible in the political sphere or the business goal of financial institutions. We say back, you don't understand the laws of physics, and that we will not allow for sacrifice people or sacrifice zones, or corporate colonialism, or incremental transitions to renewable energy, or false solutions like carbon offset schemes instead of stopping pollution at the source. We are not willing to die because those with political power and wealth are having a difficult time understanding that everything is already changing. Mother Nature has made that perfectly clear. I live in California, where year after year now we are facing catastrophic fires. My lungs and those of many are damaged, or we have lost loved ones to climate-fueled flames, lives gone forever. I stand before you to offer a call to action that was recently delivered to governments during the UNGA by the Global Women's Assembly for Climate Justice. It's a call to action from women and feminists around the world representing millions of people, outlining in explicit detail what can be done to meet the 1.5-degree target with already existing climate justice frameworks. And I submit this to the offices here. We included both governments and financial institutions in our recommendations because we are well aware of the power of the fossil fuel industry in these two sectors. 60 of the largest banks in the world have collectively financed $3.8 trillion in fossil fuel companies since the Paris Agreement. And the recent report by the UN Environment Programme found that governments still plan to produce more than double the amount of fossil fuels in 2030 than what would be consistent with limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees. How can we approach COP26 with these impossible numbers? Hope means no more rhetoric without copious amounts of action. So the question is, where are the government leaders willing to stand up to the fossil fuel industry? And where is the $100 billion a year promised from wealthy countries so we can move toward a just transition? We can move billions once we claim a global climate emergency, trillions. And pulling from military budgets is a good place to begin. I find my deepest hope and courage in civil society, especially with women leaders. We are in the streets, in the fields, in the boardrooms, and in the halls of power. We are putting our bodies on the line, some of us getting arrested, criminalized, tortured, and even murdered for standing up for the last of the clean water, the last of the forests, for what we hold as sacred, for the last chance for our climate and a livable future. What is happening now is not only unjust, but it's actually insane. As we head into COP26, please know we are not willing to die or sacrifice future generations for truly pitiful reasons of greed, political power, and hubris. Rather, we are willing to fight, to use our imaginations, innovations, to be alive, to thrive, to be courageous, to be uncomfortable for positive changes, to be bold, and to win. We are willing to endlessly fight for policies that prioritize social, racial, and economic justice and Indigenous and human rights. The real problem is not that we don't have a plethora of solutions, from agroecology to Indigenous knowledge, from regenerative energy to feminist economics and climate policies. Rather, the problem is the insistent structural interference that those in power are exercising in response to people taking real action. In the face of this, we are rising all over the world and growing stronger. We can act now, and we must act now. Let's totally break business as usual at COP26 and create the healthy and just world we know is possible. That is hope. Thank you for hearing these words. Please let them pierce our hearts with courage so we can fight together for our collective survival. Thank you.